In this upload, I will be reviewing Futurama, episode 5 and episode 6. Start with episode 5. Um, the name of episode 5 is Fear of Bot Planet. Um, it starts off with there's a lot of little tidbits in there. You know, maybe I won't be able to do the episode. I won't be able to do any episode justice. An individual watching this has to go watch the episode. Excuse me, because there's things that I may forget and things that I won't pick up on. The only thing I can tell you, there's I think there's underlying message to this episode. Basically, it this one features Fry, Bender, and Leela. So these three characters have to deliver a package to an all robot planet. The catch is Bender is feeling underappreciated in this episode. So they get to go to an all robot planet. Bender's a robot. Plus for him. But the episode starts off innocently enough. They're at a. Well, the whole episode's innocent. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. But the episode starts off, they're at a baseball game, or what Fry believes to be a baseball game. But this is a great. Well, it's not a great. This is a great example. This is a great example of the writers being able to create so much from this story, because he's from the past, and this is like 1,000 years in the future. There's so many possibilities. They could take real things from present and go so far left with it, but in a good way. You know, and they take the game of baseball and they turn it into something else that's like wacky and zany, and it's just great. But the these characters get into are having a conversation. I forget exactly what it was about, but Bender winds up, and this is an example of like a kind of, if comedy was to be graded, such as like school, this would be a joke that's maybe grade school. Not saying that it's simplistic, but it's still funny. It's a joke that doesn't necessarily deal with current events or major topics that the world is struggling to get an idea, or struggling to get a grasp on, or something like that. He's like, "Whoa, you know, this is so much fun. Why don't we have some popcorn too?" So he pops some popcorn out of his midsection and he opens it up. It's like, anybody wants butter? You hear the butter being dispensed, but they don't show it on the camera. It's obviously coming from somewhere in its nether regions, if you will, which is so funny. That's why I urge people to watch the series, because it's things like that I can't. It's a visual. I can't explain it. It's so funny. Um, so they wind up um, going to deliver the package to the planet. Meanwhile, Bender is his attitude towards his 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 attitude towards his attitude towards his human companions is starting to degrade more and more through the episode. So they get there, he winds up getting kidnapped or taken captive, and Fry and Leela, the other two characters, try and rescue him. Try and go and rescue him. Um, they, but they have to blend in, because there's like a kill all human type thing going on this planet, because this is a great example of the writer's ability to like to make something like that joke I just explained or tried to explain, which is simplistic as it is, it's just talking about genitalia really, to go in something as complex as why, or complex as a society having these false perceptions of another culture because of things that were allowed to cultivate inside the society. They think humans are they think humans are this and that and evil and bad and all that, and it's just it's like a it's like a looking under a microscope almost at what's actually going on in real life. But maybe I don't want to go down that. I don't want to go down that road. I want to keep this as fun as possible. So, um, what was I gonna say? They wind up, um, they wind up getting caught, of course, after the daily human hunt. But another funny joke that came up. Well, another funny thing that came up in this episode was after they got done with the human hunt, they said, "Well, that's another successful human hunt. No humans found." And Bender's like, "Hey, what's that over there?" And it's a abandoned building with three X's on it. Now you know what that means. And he's like, "Oh, why didn't we check that?" He's like, "I don't worry, that's nothing but an old robot pornography place. It's been shut down forever. Nothing in there." He's like, and Bender's like, "Well, I better just go check it out." And he goes running over there to check it out. And he has one of those fold outs like you would find in an old Playboy or something. And it's just schematics. It's just lines going to different and it's pieces of wire represented as lines going to different junctions, showing different voltages. It's just hilarious. But anyway, the group winds up uh, escaping the planet. Oh yeah, and Bender winds up finding the love and appreciation he's been wanting from the other two characters. But as they're escaping the planet, the robots are trying to chase them, and they're ascending up, trying to grab them. And Bender's like, "Oh, I forgot to deliver the package," and he throws it out, and he catches, and the top robot catches it, but it topples the line of robots that were trying to catch these three. And as they fall to the ground, the package falls and explodes with all these boats. And there was a shortage of boats on this planet. And now, guess what? They love humans. So I may have left out something, but I think that was one of the better episodes. Now let's just jump into the next one. The next one kind of hits home a little bit for me. I don't know. I feel something about it. It's called A Fishful of Dollars. It's a play on old spaghetti western with Clint Eastwood. I do know a little. I don't know everything. I don't have a whole archive of movie factoids up here, but I do know something. That movie will be called a Fistful of Dollars. This one is called A Fish Full of Dollars. A Fishful. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. But in this one, Fry, I forget what it is. They started the episode um by bringing to light the fact that in the future, uh, and people's dreams are invaded by advertisements for overpriced products. Let's just put it that way. And they didn't make a point of it. They make a point of it in the episode to voice their disgust about the fact that you can't do anything or go anywhere in today's society when that was created. You can't go anywhere or do anything without being bombarded with advertisement. But that's their thing. Um, Yeah, so they do that, but in the process, they all wind up running to the nearest mall to do some shopping. And Bender's a, what is it? What is that called? Damn, I forget what the name is called. But he steals a lot. So he finds a sweater in the store, stuffs the sweater with all types of stuff, and he gets arrested. He has to pay a fine. The other four characters can't get enough money to pay the fine. So Fry's like, "Oh, still got a bank account," and goes to the bank account. She's like, "How much is in there?" She's like 93 cents. They only needed 50. Simple math. They're good to go. And he's like, "Oh, 93 cents compounded over 1,000 years equals blase blase blah." It was a lot. So I think he became a billionaire instantly. And I think he did. His reaction would probably be the same reaction that most people, including myself, would have if we just found out that I now have like 4.5 billion or something like that. Starts foaming at the mouth and he falls on the ground, passes out. I think most people would react like that. Um, but yeah, he does what most people do when they get. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think most people would continue to react in the same manner as he did. They would go out and buy things that make them happy. So what does he do? He goes out and buys up everything from his era that he can find. Of course, everything from his era is now antiques, so they're much more expensive. But surprisingly, he doesn't spend that much. He doesn't spend that much. But the kicker, he goes crazy for anchovies. They've been extinct. Can't find them. And he spends a lot of money on events. He spends like double digit million. Like it was like 50 million or something like it was like something crazy. It was like $50 million or something like that on one can of anchovies. Now he's in competition with these anchovies from another character they introduce. She owns like an oil company. We're getting into some different territory here. But she owns like an oil company that um, uh, has oil for robots. She's figured out some type of secret to the anchovies that their oil is more powerful and can oil more robots. So she's trying to just get that DNA and she's trying to get that genetic trait from the anchovies and recreate it in something else, so she can be infinitely wealthy, which I think in real life, yeah, people do that. People would do that. People would sell their own mother for that type of money. Some people would, not everybody. I wouldn't. But yeah, an episode goes on, and there's another little lesson in there. So he goes on to see that friendship is very important in life because he cast all his friends away to be immersed in all these things he enjoyed 1,000 years ago. The reality is, you need to enjoy the present, not the past. You can look at it and feel nostalgic, but remember, this is the present. Enjoy it. I think that's a just male. That is T. It's not what you think it is. That is T. I think that's important. I think that's one of my takeaways from it. You see, they that's another example of how good these writers are. That's another example. Till next time.